Hey everyone, and welcome back to the United Star. I am Atanu, and today I am joined by none other than Mr. John Foster from All for United WFC. How are you, John? It's been a while since you've been here. We love you on the United Star. How have you been?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me back. Yeah, I've been okay. The first couple of weeks of the season was very, very good. Hit a brick wall last week, but obviously we'll bounce back and go from strength to strength, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely, John. So let's just get into this and we'll just talk about the last game, a very heavy defeat to Chelsea. A 6-1 loss hurts a lot. I think this has to be the worst loss that we've had in our history. And we should have done better. Our midfield should have, done better. There were a lot of issues that we had on the pitch, midfield and defense. But I just want to talk about Alessia Russo first. What a brilliant goal. Coming off the bench, scoring against her old club. And for a short time, I was like, okay, the comeback is on the cards. Alessia Russo has come on. She scored a goal. She'll score a couple of more goals. She's used to scoring many goals. It's just that she was injured the last season, so we didn't get to see the Russo that we expected to. But we might see it this season. So how did you like Alessia Russo in that game?
This is why we need Alessia Russo to start as many games as she can. We put so much pressure on her to be our number 9 this season, and we haven't seen it yet because of injury. But as fans, we only remember the last time she played, and the last time she played was the start of last season, where she was doing exactly the same. You know, she was keeping Christian Press out of the team. She was doing a fantastic job, and then unfortunately she got injured and she was out for practically a year. So yeah, really excited. Just the type of player that we need. Hit the crossbar as well. So not only does she score, she hit the crossbar. She's good in the air. She's strong. She can play out wide. She can play down the centre, and she's our only at the moment, she's our only fit number 9. So we haven't seen much of Fuso. Martha Thomas is injured. Carrie Jones is still young. We shouldn't be putting that kind of pressure on her just yet. And Toon is a very good attacking player, but she's not an out-and-out number 9. She plays a false 9 position. So yeah, if Russo's fit, then she needs to start. Even against a weaker team like Birmingham, get her some match time, get her used to starting a match. Then if she needs to be subbed up at half time, 60 minutes, then that's fine. But we need to start doing it the other way around now. Instead of bringing her on at half time or bringing her on after 60 minutes, let's do it the other way now. Let's see how long she can last for throughout the game.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up pretty well about Alessia Russo. If she's fit, she needs to start. And I just want to talk about Martha Thomas. I mean, she was on a roll. She scored against, I think it was Leicester. She scored
Yeah,
in the international break as well,
yeah.
a goal in each of the 2 games she played for Scotland. And I was really looking forward to watching Martha Thomas play. And to that extent, that I had predicted that Martha Thomas might start against Chelsea in the MUWSC lineup league. I predicted that Martha Thomas might start, but Natalie posted a photo, replied to my tweet, and put out a photo of Martha Thomas being in a leg brace, and it hurts. Like we've got the perfect players, we've got a good squad, but injuries are ruining everything.
Yeah, well, let's hope that the injuries aren't anywhere near last season. Marc Skinner's been speaking today, which is Friday, where we're at the moment, and he says that the only injuries that we've got is Martha Thomas and Curtis Smith is on her way back, and we know about Millie Turner as well, probably about six to 8 weeks maybe. So, if we can stay like that, it's not the end of the world. If it's just 3, it completely killed our season last season. As for Martha Thomas, yeah, that was completely unexpected. It happened in training. We was expected to see her play. Then all of a sudden, someone in the stands saw her in a leg brace. She sat right next to us on the left-hand side, and we could see her with a leg up. I think that's probably the photo that you saw. And yeah, very disappointing because, as you say, she's on form. Skinner subbed her on against Leicester, because we needed that proper out-and-out striker halfway through the game to start putting away some of our chances. She did that. She scored, played for Scotland, scored again. And yeah, unfortunately, this is what happens. But this is what happens to Man United for quite a while now. Our women's team, as soon as someone gets on a roll, one of our attacking players, whether it be Tobin Heath, Alessia, Leah Galton, there's always someone that suddenly picks up an injury. And hopefully this is just a short, temporary one. Fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, John, definitely. And you are a host on All for United WFC, and you've been doing a fantastic job. And I think on Thursday night, some people from Manchester United Women's Supporters Club, Deborah Henry and Mark Henry. Mark Henry has been on our show as well earlier in last season. So they talked about the medical staff. I think the men's teams and women's teams have the same medical staff, if I'm not wrong, John.
Yeah, I think whilst I'm in Carrington, we are now able to use those. And I think Mark pointed out a knee and ankle specialist, which would be great because that's obviously Albion, Alessia, Leah always. I think Hanson at one point had that as well. Had that. Let's not get into all the why it's happening because we had so many injuries last season. We kind of said, is it a training regime? Is it this? Is it the pitches? Is it whatever? But yeah, absolutely. I think this is something that needed to be addressed last season. And I think for as long as we're at Carrington, I think we're okay. If things will change going forward, I'm not too sure. But I think at the moment, let's just appreciate that it's better than it was last season. And even throughout summer, we knew that there was some changes to the medical team. So it's what we needed, for this team to grow, for this club to grow, for the women's team. We need to, as you said, we need to treat them more equal or get on par with the men's team, and by having better medical staff and better training facilities, that will only help.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are seeing some improvements on and off the pitch. We're seeing some new gameplays being taken place, and I think this loss against Chelsea, of course it hurts, but right now it's time to push more in, and just get that win against Birmingham City. And there's a famous quote from a movie I really like. It's from Rocky. The saying goes as, it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So that's what this team should do. I know that they feel that they've let the fans down. They've apologized as well, which really which really speaks highly of the players. They know that the fans come in and support the club, and they've apologized. And I think they shouldn't apologize. It was one-off game, and I think we'll be back. I trust Marc Skinner to do something special against Birmingham, his old club. It's going to be special. Some players are also, Hayley Ladd, Mary Earps, Aoife Mannion playing against their old clubs. I think Lucy Staniforth also. So it's going to be a special game, John. So what are your thoughts about Birmingham City?
Skinner said himself he's still got love for the club, and I think that was probably one of the first clubs that he professionally managed before he went to America, because he's only been around for like 4 or 5 years himself as a first team coach. So yeah, he's going to have that bond there. So the players that you mentioned, but that's all going to go out the window on Sunday. We not only need to win, we need to put our foot down. We need to make a statement. We're lacking on goal average. 1-2 lost one, but the one that we lost was very heavy. So yeah, I think the fans are not only expecting a win here, they're expecting a very good win. Now, I think Mark, I had a word to Ollie a couple of weeks ago, and Ollie kind of says to him, it's a massive club in the sense of as soon as you lose one game, it's a big catastrophe, it's a chaos, I think the word was. And I think Skinner would have seen that this week, and hopefully it's made him stronger. It's made him realise, wow, this is it. I mean, there's been a lot of negativity, and sorry to kind of go on about this, but there's been a lot of negativity. However, it is only one game. Mark, we just spoken about earlier, Mark Henry, who was on our podcast, he said, it's just kind of on par. He was expecting kind of 2 wins and a loss, or I think he said 2 wins and a draw he would have liked, but 2 wins and a loss isn't the end of the world. So they need to kind of get rid of that now. Take some learning from it, of course, but you need to get that out of your head, because 2 wins and a loss isn't that bad. It's really not. It's a manner of how we lost on that day. So, but that's gone now. So we need to make sure that we're fully focused against Birmingham. We can't slip up. We've got the players that can beat Birmingham comfortably, and it's just all about now, are they in the right mindset? And that's up to Mark and his coaching staff to get them in the right mindset.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you made a valid point over there that, this loss puts things into perspective for Marc Skinner. He knows what to do next. He knows what recruitments to do next in the January window. Of course, all of our fans are really, hopeful that we'll sign a certain Swedish striker, Stina Blackstenius. So hopefully we'll sign, and coming back to what I said about the Swedish striker, there was a very special episode that John did with some journalist from Sweden, and we'll add the link of the video in the description below. Do check that out. It's about Stina Blackstenius. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. So that's the name of the player. She won a silver medal with in the Olympics in the summer, and amazing player. And I think she'll be available on a free in the winter window, because that's how contracts work in in the Scandinavian area and in the Scandinavian region.
Yeah.
So, John, something about that video you want to talk about?
Yeah, just very quickly. So first of all, if ever you want to learn anything about Scandinavian players who are very technically gifted, you don't get silver in the Olympics if you're not good, because there's a lot of good countries out there. So there are very good players, but they go under the radar because the profile of Scandinavian players isn't as high as, say, for example, America or over in England. So they are very talented. We saw 3 Swedish players come over to Everton who will probably hit the ground at some point. But yeah, shout out to Mia Eriksson and Amanda. They both work on the same podcast. You can find them on ALL for United. You can find the links there. But they're very, very well respected in the whole of women's football, not just in Scandinavia. So if ever you do need to learn about these players, listen to that. As for Blackstenius, look, we're not officially linked. This is just players that we want, but we do know that Blackstenius will be on the move. We do know that she would like to come to the WSL. We probably are underdogs because there's 3 teams that are more high profile than us. Whether or not they need Blackstenius as much as we do, possibly not. But you know, if it could happen, we know that we're not shy about spending money in January or go out and getting people in January. We saw last season, lots of Rockfish left. Maria Thorisdottir could come in. Vilda Valvisa should have come in January. You know, the deal was pretty much done back then, but it didn't happen until summer. So yeah, realistically, it could happen. I do think that we're underdogs, but not massively.
Yeah, definitely. So here was there was some insight about Blackstenius. If some women's team fans were like, okay, who is our transfer target? So John has summed it up. It's Stina Blackstenius. Maybe she comes, maybe she doesn't come, but there's fans want her to come because she's a wonderful striker. And like John said, you don't win silver in Olympics if you're not good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's what we need. It's a position that we need. You know, we need a winger as well, and we need a striker. There's two more positions to challenge. You know, until the end of the season, just to bolster that squad. We spoke about injuries. Leah Galton's going through. She's not fully fit. Let's put it that way. If you know what's going on, then you know what's going on. But she's not 100%. Hansen, you can't afford to be at a away game every game. She started off the season really well. The pre-season was, in my opinion, the pre-season was better than anybody else. She had the best pre-season.
She was the player of the pre-season for us.
100%. And it looks like Tunis kind of overtook her now. So her and Kirsty are battling it out, who played very well against Chelsea, by the way. You know, to see Kirsty run her legs off in front of us, she was just outnumbered. So, you know, Kirsty done as well as she could have possibly done against Chelsea. And then obviously Tooney can go out wide. But apart from that, you know, you haven't really got any out-and-out wingers. So I still think we need a winger. But what Blackstenius can do is hopefully get us goals. So if ever Russo is out or if ever Martha Thomas is out, we're not forced to play people in positions that they shouldn't be playing in. So this has to be someone that we're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe she comes in and, gets that number 9 spot and she fights out with Ivana Fuso, Martha Thomas, and Alicia Russo. So competition is always good. And John, before we go to the predictions, I want to talk about something. Like you said, there's been a lot of negativity after the match. Of course, the loss hurts. I've been saying this, the loss hurts, but we learn our lessons from it. This puts things into perspective for Marc Skinner and the fans as well, where we need to improve. And there's been a lot of negativity. Like I said, criticism will be there at the end of the day. Of course, we fans want to have an open debate, open argument. So criticism will be there, but let's not convert that criticism into abuse. That's what I want to say. We fans need to stick together and support our players and the manager. It's like John said, it's just been 2 wins and 1 loss. There's only 3 games. Only 3 games. We've got around 22 games in a season, and we still have around 19 games to go. So we'll definitely do better. So John, anything you like to add?
Yeah, look, I think with social media, because it's 24/7, you can react there on the spot. So when things aren't going good, you'll put it out there. When things are going well, you'll also put it out there. And obviously, this past week, we've lost to the European Champions League finalists and the WSL champions. I don't think that was the major issue. I think it was the way that we lost. You know, to lose 6-1, to give away the ball on 3 occasions where we did. A couple of referee issues as well, but that's not why we lost the match. And the lack of fight in certain areas of the pitch from some of our players. I think that's the kind of thing that kind of got on a lot of people's nerves. Also, playing out from the back. Yes, we know it works against the weaker teams because we did it successfully against Leicester and Reading and Rangers pre-season that we went to go and watch. That's brilliant because it worked against them, but we was against a better class of opposition, so it didn't work. But at least now, what Marc Skinner just said in his recent interview, he knows where we're at now. He knows what people's levels are, what they can and can't do, and who they can and can't do it with. And you don't know the levels until you come up against those levels, and if you succeed or fail. So he's kind of seen that now. What we like to say, we need to make sure that we bounce back ASAP. Regarding the stuff that we've seen on Twitter, I think they're all valid points. You know, I don't think there's anything that's been said that a lot of people weren't thinking. But sometimes you just have to take a step back, and like we just said, it's 2 wins and a loss, and the loss is against the champions. So yes, it was a heavy loss, but it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, unless if we lose on goal average, of course. But then you could blame, you know, Russo should have scored 2, for example, instead of just scoring 1. So I think sometimes we do just need to step back, but you can't blame fans for the first couple of days just reacting in the way, in a passionate way. Abuse is something that we can't tolerate and end of. I think backing our players is also something that we should always do. Now we've all got our favourites. You know, we've got 3 strikers. If there's only room for 1, then we've all got our favourites. We've got 6 midfielders. There's only room for 3. We've all got our favourite 3. So I think you're going to get that. And then with the women's game getting more high profile now, with it being on Sky, BBC, and Twitter pages growing, you will see players get called out more. But that's the sacrifice. You know, that's the consequence of being in the spotlight more. Yes, you'll get a lot more praise, but also when things don't go right, you will get that criticism, which is okay. It's okay to criticise players, you know, that's okay, but so long as you don't go too far.
Yeah, definitely, John. And that's what we need to realize. Criticism will be there, but let's not convert that criticism into abuse. And that's what my message is. And John, now let's move on to the predictions. Who do you think will start? Like, which of the 11 players will start?
I think the back 5 will stay the same. There's no sign of Curtis Smith coming back yet. Martha Thomas could come in to rest the player. That could genuinely happen. Sorry, not Martha Thomas, sorry, Martha Harris. I'm not too sure if I said Martha Harris or Martha Thomas. Martha Harris could come back because it's a game where they shouldn't really be tested at fullback. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying it should happen. But if you're going to rest any of the back line, then potentially you might see a change of fullback, purely because they shouldn't really be tested that much. But I would probably keep the same back 5. We'll do the front 3 first. So the front 3, I think it's time that Russo needs to start. I think what Skinner needs to do now is start as it means to go on. So use this game as practice for the Man City game. So if his main striker from now on is going to be Russo, then start Russo. Now this is where I might do something slightly differently. I think Leah needs to have a bit of a break. You could quite easily say keep her on the pitch and play herself into form. But if she's not fully fit, then I think Hansen needs to go to the left, keep Tooney on, and put Tooney out wide. This is just one alternative, guys. This is just one thing that we can do. We know Tooney's best at number 10. However, as we mentioned earlier, we haven't got that many wide players. So we know Tooney can play there. And they can also alternate as well. So yeah, Russo, Tooney and Hansen as a front 3. Then the midfield 3, this could be absolutely anybody. It really can. I think Lucy Staniforth has been so underrated this season. We know Skinner likes Lucy by his quotes in the game last week about how well she picks up certain areas on the pitch where she can receive the ball, which is really important. If But I would like to see more Balvisa at the moment because we haven't seen enough of her. I don't know the reasons why. I really don't. But I think this is the game where we need to kind of break Balvisa in. Balvisa is one of our technically best players, and we haven't seen her yet. So you'd like to think that going forward, she's going to find a way into that starting 11. So if you're going to play Balvisa, then obviously someone needs to come out. I'd like Jackie to start, and I'd like Hayley Ladd to start. Hayley Ladd because she's our out and out CDM. She's our best CDM that we've got. So if she plays, that allows the other two midfielders to get forward. So on this occasion, I'd like to see Jackie and Balvisa play together. Our captain can be rested because she's played every game so far. Jackie and Balvisa, that excites me, but they need to build that relationship. If them two can go further forward, Hayley Ladd, is going to protect the back two. And if Hayley Ladd can drop, then that allows the full-backs to get forward as well. And I think this is something that we really need to do against Birmingham because they're going to sit deep, aren't they? They're going to try and catch us on the counter-attack. They're going to be hard to break down. You need technical players to kind of play these 1-2s around them. And with Russo's height and strength in the air, you can put crosses in. If plan A doesn't work, you can use plan B. So that's like kind of how I would line up. So there is one alternative to that. It's a very slight alternative. What we've seen in the past, Casey Stoney didn't need a CDM, Hayley Ladd, because they're against weaker opposition. So when that happens, Hayley Ladd doesn't start, and she'll play more like maybe a Katie Zellerman, Jackie with Balvisa ahead, or someone like that, or Jackie ahead and Katie and Balvisa sit back. I understand that logic, but I think this is a game now where we can get people game time and start playing your best positions in your best players in the best positions. So for me, I'll go for my first scenario, and then really try and push it to see how well that team does, because that same team could then play against Man City the week after.
Yeah, definitely. And just summing it up, I think I'd agree with you. Ona, Maria, Aoife Mannion, and Blundell start. The back five sets itself. And I'd like to see Hayley Ladd start. I'd like to see Jackie Cronin start. I'd like to see Vilde Borisa start. So I think 8 of our players are similar. I'd love to see Carrie Jones in the team. I'd love to see Carrie Jones. So I might go with something different. I'll go with left wing Kirsty Hansen, striker Carrie Jones, and right wing Atanu. I know Alessia Russo has to be there. I agree to that point, but I just don't want to risk it because we've got a Manchester derby coming up, and I really want to win this. I really want to win it because they've got injuries, so I want us to win that. No disrespect to Alessia Russo, she might start, she might play 60 minutes, but I think Carrie Jones starts.
Yeah, if Russo isn't fit, then yeah, let's do what you just said. It's a great game for Carrie to come into. She'll be supported by a lot of players around her that are very well equipped to give her the ball, and as long as Carrie's movement's good, because she will be crowded in that area. You can imagine a lot of players being around her because they're going to play very defensive, aren't they? So you'll probably have 2 centre backs around her. You'll probably have their CDM on her as well. So if Russo isn't fit, then yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But I'm hoping that by now Russo is able to start. So yeah, but either way, I think it's no matter what starting 11 we put out, we should win. Birmingham still haven't got any points yet. They're not looking great. I can't see where they're going to pick up points. So hopefully, this isn't a banana skin for us, so we do actually play at our best. If we play at our best, we'll win.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we should be winning. So, John, quickly, what are your score predictions?
I'm going to stick with what I said on the Anthony's odds on show on Friday night on our channel. I'm going to go with 5-0. That's a massive scoreline, but I think we need to see reaction. I think we need to put pressure on our club and our team to know that this is our expectations. Not forget the loss last week, but you look at the other teams. If they were to play Birmingham, what would they do? And this is the kind of level that we need to get to now. So it's okay losing against the top 3. It's okay winning some of our more closer rivals 2-1, 3-1. But Birmingham's not one of our rivals, so we need to make a statement, and I think we will. So I'm going to go for a very optimistic 5-0 at St Andrews.
Yeah, I'd go with a 4-0, as I said on Anthony's live show, live chat. I'd go with a 4-0. And I just want us to win. It's an important game. We can't take Birmingham lightly because we need those 3 points. We need to increase our goal difference. And I'd love to watch us score five, like you said, or even four, like I said. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, John, for coming on. Jonathan is from All for United WFC, their brilliant YouTube channel, which is mainly focused on women's football and Manchester United women's team. So do subscribe to their channel. Do follow them on their Twitter and Instagram handles. Do follow Jonathan Foster on his Twitter account. I'll add all the links in the description below. And like all the times that members from Alpha United WFC have come on, I've urged the fans to vote for them in the FCAs. The FCA's voting lines are closed. So what I'd like to urge right now is support Alpha United WFC. They've been doing a fantastic job. Just don't subscribe to it and watch the content that they do. I know it's a bit late for the Indian fans, but like sometimes I don't catch it live, but I'll make sure to watch the whole show the next morning or next evening. So they've been doing a fantastic job. A few days back, some members from MUWSC were on, and they explained how the fans forum work for women's fans. They explained everything that goes behind the scenes, not just on the pitch but behind the pitch as well. We've got around 8-9 shows every week, John, right now,
Yeah,
excluding
so
the.
it's fantastic. Yeah, if I could just jump on that very quickly, we do have 6 live shows, Monday to Saturday, 7 o'clock. So if people are awake in India, then you can just get in the comments and say hello to us, and we'll reply to you. Sunday, if it's match day, we'll have match day content. We'll always have match day content, no matter what day it's on. But we've also got 2 pre-recorded shows as well that go out on midday on Tuesdays and Fridays. One's a bit of a wrap up from the weekend, and the next one's a bit of a prediction show going into the weekend, into the new weekend. So yeah, we've got eight shows plus match day content on top of that as well.
So yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow everything. Follow their Instagram handles, Twitter handles, and follow John on Twitter. I'll add all the links in the description below, like I said. And while you're at it, do subscribe to United Star. Do follow us on our Instagram and Twitter handles. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.